So how was that?
Awesome.
Hello folks and welcome back. Two Wheel Demon here. Last time we talked, y'all got familiar with this bike. Well, some things have happened in the meantime, and now we have a second Grom. We have here is a 2015 OG Grom in the white pearl. Picked up this in some trade, and the cool thing about this little guy was it had 280 miles on it. That's it. Got all the paperwork done, 100% legal, 100% legit. Couldn't be happier with this little thing. It did have a windshield on it, and it had a rear rack. And I will show you, this is actually the windshield. Kind of big, but it worked. And then it had this little rack right here, which is actually quite stout, pretty strong, pretty nice little piece. But they're not what I'm looking for on a Grom, so it came off. That and the rear tail delete was the only modifications to this bike. I've since changed the rear signals, put some LEDs in it, put an LED bulb in the headlight, as well as doing the little wire conversion that you have to do to make that run and not flicker. Also changed out the mirrors with these, added weighted ones so that it's a little more stable. And this one has dual USB plugs on it. And of course, you got to get rid of the factory exhaust. Those high mounts are just terrible. You could tell the power loss in those, especially compared to having the 19. So this is the same Amazon exhaust I always run, even that's on my 19. And it has made a world of a difference on this bike. And the other thing I like that it has on here is this under section. I believe it comes from Hot Bodies. I ordered a Hot Bodies one in gloss black for that Grom. So I just got to get that installed. It just came in today. So, but what we're going to do on this bike to get rid of some of the look of the OG, which is the biggest problem of it, is this ugly headlight. I have a new headlight for it, for the SF front end. I've got new fairings, and I've got a different kind of turn signal for it. I'll show you that. It's like this. It's clear. It follows all the form of the factory body line, so it'll look factory when installed. Also, I have the SF front fender, which it's not in yet. When it comes in, it'll be thrown on there. It should be here in a couple days. So, also, what we're going to be doing, not today, but these decals will come off and get changed out with some black ones that I've ordered. And other than that, that's all we're going to be doing right now. I've got about 450 miles on it now, so I've been riding this little bugger around, and the more you ride it, the better it's getting. So without any further nonsense, let's get right into it. First thing I'm gonna do, take this headlight off. All right, so before we start taking the bike apart, I have here an extra headlight that I've assembled from spare parts and one of the Chinese version of the headlights. Now, these aren't as good a quality as the true SF headlight, but it is still a good headlight. I've tested it, it works out well. Plus, these cheaper versions have a 3-wire plug off of them, so it saves you from having to buy the conversion wiring harness to plug into your OG. And now what you see over here, these are some spare lights from my Harley, which I'm gonna steal this plug and put it on this right here. Then it'll plug right into the OG like it was factory. Now, I'm not a personal fan of these flush mount blinkers, so they're coming off. And like I said, I'm gonna use these. That'll fit right on these fairings over here, which these are 2 brand new Himalayan white pearl ones. And with all the extra parts I've had laying around, I've got factory connectors that came off of other sets of blinkers for the Grom. So what I'm gonna do, splice it in, then they'll be 100% plug and play. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take this apart, get everything changed over to the white headlight fairings, get these new signals put on here and everything else lined up, and then I'll pick you back up. All right, so here we go. Basically, all I did was unbolt this headlight, 4 bolts on the outer edge, thing comes right off. 2 connectors unplugs the signal harness, and the headlight harness, and all that will transfer right into this one. No issues, nothing like that. Everything goes back in place, connects like factory. So all that's left to do, take this headlight, put it onto the new Grom, or well, in this case, the old Grom. And we'll be back after I get it mounted up and we'll see how it looks and works. This is the final look. Looks a lot better, in my opinion. I personally am a fan of the blinker staying on the front, so that's why I didn't do flush mount. I know some people will disagree, but I think it looks better, so and that ultimately what counts because I'm the one riding it. But they look factory, they're solid, everything's on there. Now, I will let you guys know, if you're gonna do this, however you do the headlight wiring is gonna be up to you. If you get a factory headlight or if you get one of these Chinese ones that have the pigtail on them, which this one only cost me $40. The headlight was $40. This is an OEM Honda shroud, and this is an OEM Honda fairings. So it is what it is. But the difference is the headlight bucket that holds the OG headlight has nothing right here. And that's what this is. This is the OG housing holding the SF headlight. So you have this little opening window right here showing some of the wiring that the the SF one doesn't, or it has a panel here covering that. Now, for anyone else doing this, another thing to note, these bolts, while they look the same, are a different bolt. So if you look carefully, you can see they don't completely sit flush in there. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to order a set of the SF headlight bolts, but this is on so tight, it's not going anywhere anyway. So even if you do this and don't wanna buy the bolts, you're not gonna have any loss. So how about we turn this on now? So when you do, well, before we turn it on, when you do the wire conversion for this to run an LED headlight on the OG, basically it makes your headlight come on automatically when you turn the key on. On the SFs, the parking lights come on just like the OG used to with a normal headlight. So with these, I disconnected the parking light feature from these since this will always be on with the key. So here we go, let's check it out. As you can see, works perfect. Low beam there, high beam. The thing about the Chinese knockoff headlights is it's going to be hard to show you in the camera here, but this little parking light that's in the SF headlight lights up blue. The lens has a slight blue hue to it, so this lights up blue on the bottom down here, and it kind of puts a slight blue glow in the high beam area. Like I said, I don't know how well the camera will pick this up, but I'm gonna give it a shot. But to show you the blinkers, they're nice and bright, fully functional, and I think it's going to be a drastic improvement on the bike. And the beam, as you can see, is a pretty clean beam. So I'm going to take this outside, get it adjusted and enjoy it, and I will pick this back up for y'all when we get the SF fender in a couple days. And it's just a simple 4-bolt installation, but I'll do it with you guys. Here we are a few days later. Where we left off, we changed out the headlight, changed out some decals, and changed out the back decal. Cleaned it up a little bit, but now the final piece to the puzzle, the SF front fender came in. All ready to go on. Now, these are the simplest parts to change. A couple bolts there. If you have your reflectors, they go there. And then you got a brake line. That's it. So I'm gonna change that out and I'll get right back with you guys. Right. And just like that, all done. Got the SF fender, the SF headlight, all on the OG. Looks really clean. I didn't think it would look this good like this setup, and I really like these little OEM style LED turn signals, especially with them matching all the body contours to these headlights. But there it is. So until next time, people, ride safe.